That didn't work. Welcome
Welcome
to Shade in the
in the
City.
City.
I'm Treese.
It's Nels.
And we're still in birthday mode. No, I'm playing. So no, guys, yes, the big flirty six is coming up. I'm just saying. So make sure that you do one thing for me, best gift ever. Hit that like button as you're coming in. And we are getting ready to review Married at First Sight. We are on episode 9, y'all. This is flying. So I think they got 5 more weeks now, and I guess it's getting real. I guess that's that real love.
At this point, it's looking like nobody gonna last.
I think all our predictions might be off, y'all. Maybe we losing it. I don't know.
Noi and Steve, maybe they on the fence, but everybody else.
I don't know. But let's get into it and let's get shady. Okay, so we jump back into our favorite couple as usual. Our first, Noi and Steve. So Noi, I ain't even have my mic on. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So Noi and Steve, Steve wakes up by himself, and he wakes up to Noi wanting to take him on a scavenger hunt. Well, he don't know that yet when he wake up, but it's just him and I was gonna say Sheba, Sushi next to him. So he's like, oh, and then he sees the note, like, meet me at the park. And she has all these little things on the card, like, oh, and our family tree, and go to the tree over there. And that's where, if you look behind, you'll find me. And I was like, that's some really cute shit, Noi. I love it. I'm a hopeless romantic. I am here for it. I love it. And yeah. So
he loved it. He loved it as well.
He loved it. And I love how she said, I'm going to take you on an adventure. And it might not have been a Steve adventure, because we all know he likes to do the most, but it was a Noi adventure, and it kept him on his toes. And I think he liked that. So that was super cute.
I thought it was nice that, especially after the argument they had, she wanted to do this to show, her gratitude and appreciation. And apparently she did a good job, because he loved it. He even said that he loves adventures and he loves like thoughtful gifts like that. So good job, Noi. It seems like
he knows how to win a man's heart. And then so then they sit down and have like a little private dinner where basically I think the experts encourage them to, like, ask questions to learn about each other, like ask some hard questions. So the question is, with Noi and Steve, I think, have you ever been in love before?
Mm-hmm.
And Noi says she's been in love once. And she asked Steve, and this man said he's been in love with everybody he's had a serious relationship with. And then she said, well, how many serious relationships have you had? And he said 5. And I said, how old are you, Steve?
This sounded to me like he would count them all as serious relationships.
So then I guess the next question was, what makes you fall in love? And she says her partner showing up for her, mm-hmm. and being there for her was her thing. And just, just it feeling natural and just going with the flow. Whereas Steve says,
like feeling comfortable and building a bond. Why the face?
Because clearly he builds a bond with everybody. He had 5 serious relationships. I'm just saying, how you would think Steve is 50 years old. Go ahead.
That I think that's how Noi felt.
Yeah.
Like, you telling everybody,
you won't tell me you love me. I'm your wife. But you out here giving I love yous to, okay.
In his defense, he didn't feel comfortable to do it.
Okay.
It was what 3 days? You even took his
I did take his side, but I didn't know he had been in 5 other relationships where he's out here giving out I love yous like they candy.
Maybe those took a couple weeks to say I love you.
Okay, Noi and Steve.
She needs a couple more weeks.
We'll check back in with Chad. So
Lindsay, y'all.
Lindsay.
This motherfucker, she waiting on a goddamn apology.
She was
waiting on an apology. She been cold as shit. She's as cold as ice.
It really was. Mark comes in. He's like, well, how were the cats? She's like, I don't know, nigga. I've been at work. I wasn't out.
Goddamn, Lindsay. Goddamn. I know dinner was awkward as shit. It was soup. This one down here to the bottom right. Is it my right? Well, yeah, bottom right where she got the pink shirt on. As you can tell, nobody smiling, nobody talking. They just cutting up and eating. Okay.
He's trying to make conversation, and Lindsay's not here for it.
Yeah, she ain't here for it. She did kind of open up a little bit when he said, "How was your day?" I think, and she was like, "Fine." And then finally, she was like, "How was yours?" And that kind of opened up the conversation a little bit. And then
it went left again.
Exactly. Holy hell broke loose.
That's why sometimes you just stay quiet and don't talk.
Basically, he let us know, that they're not meshing well. She let him know that she's not receiving any affirmations. Basically, it's always, you do this, you're doing this wrong, I don't like this, or, which
I have to agree with Lindsay on this one because I'm an affirmation person and I need to hear it. So I get it.
I think she just wants to know that she's appreciated is really what it boils down to. And I think she's frustrated that she's not getting that. And instead she's just getting, you don't get along with others and you're disrespectful and you talk to them like this. And it's like, but I'm not treating you like that. You're my husband and I'm being super nice to you. I'm being supportive and I'm trying to help you, but you don't see any of that. All you see is me getting into it with Kina and Olajuwon.
Well, damn, that's a good point.
Because that's really what he's upset about. Oh, when she's talking to people on the plane and stop being a pussy, okay, and stand behind your motherfucking woman, whether she wrong or right. That's what you're supposed to do, okay? Yeah. Olajuwon still behind his goddamn wife. Now, whether they was wrong or right, that's not the point. At the end of the day, you don't hold that shit against her. You let her know how you felt in private and don't take nobody else's side in public. And hold shit down. And I mean, quite honestly, if I was Lindsay, I would have put that motherfucker in his place. Quite honestly. Fuck that. Because if I'm arguing with a motherfucker, guess what? Bitch, you either with me or you against me.
Well, she says that she doesn't know who Mark is from time to time. When the camera's on, he's one person. When the camera's off, he's a different person. Mark says he's unhappy as well.
She just say same. Anytime she say something, same. I'd have been like, shut the fuck up, nigga. You got a mind of your own. Can you express how you feel?
But I think it's crazy. Lindsay then starts to go off and tells Mark that his life is in shambles and she still managed to love him, even though she signed up for she didn't know what she was signing up for, but she signed up for a mess because that's what it sounds like. It's a mess.
And she did. And it is.
She could be nicer.
What did she say wrong? It's all over the TV. It's not like she's embarrassing him. His life is in shambles. And like she said, he needs some awareness.
So Mark then walks off. Lindsay says he needs to begin to think about her needs, right? And how what he does affects her. She says she's not satisfied. And yeah, basically, he doesn't really have a response. He's like, I just think that everything has a reaction, and we just need to have better reactions. Is what I got from that. And yeah, it just sounds like they really fed up with each other. And Lindsay is clearly not one. She's like, I hate to say it, Lindsay, I can relate. I'm not one for being fake for too long. So if you open up the gate and you ask what the problem is, I'm gonna give you what the problem is. If I'm being quiet for a reason, because I'm trying to withhold. So if you open up the gate, bitch, I'm gonna let the floodgates open.
You know what? So Lindsay is just basically, she's fed up with, trying to support and trying to be there for him. She's like, I'm done putting myself second. And she came on and asked, like, what do you like about me?
Yeah.
Like, if all I'm hearing is all this negative shit, what is it that you like about me?
Oh no, I love when he says you are really what you are really loving. You have a really loving person buried deep inside. And she was like, nigga, that's a dig.
I asked you what you love about me.
Why would you say
deep down inside me?
Why would you say that motherfucker's buried? Nigga, when I helped you clean your roach-fested bed bug apartment, that bitch won't that far buried. She came out.
It had been buried inside of me because I just told you go fuck yourself and you can do that shit on your own or hire some motherfucking body.
So yeah,
the thing is, and I feel like she keeps on bringing this up, not to throw it in his face. Now, in the argument she did, but really to get some acknowledgement. Nigga, most bitches wouldn't do that, especially not just meeting you. And your ungrateful ass, your disrespectful ass is constantly telling me what I'm doing wrong and how you don't fuck with my personality. But my personality was kind enough, empathetic enough to fucking come help you with your fucking nasty ass apartment, fucking attic fucking apartment. And you talking shit about where the fuck I live. The nerve.
So basically, Mark feels they need to work on their communication. Lindsay says that, she came in 100% and she's at about 1% right now. Mm-hmm. And Mark says, well, at least if we got 1% and it's not 0, we can try. So
I thought that was super positive.
Yeah.
That was super positive.
If you gave me 1%, I would have been like, well, guess what? The 1% is the papers. Go file them. Like, for real.
I would have thought the 1% meant like you're just totally out, you're done. But I did like how he spun that in. He did show with that statement that he's willing to try and wants to work on it. So
then Mark decides to make some burgers because his no offense, Mark, your diet is very basic. So he tries to make some burgers.
That's the top right picture. You can see it's completely opposite of the bottom right picture.
Yeah, and he asked her how she likes the meat. I think she said it was a little rough.
Yeah, she asked for medium or medium well, and she said it's like leather.
Oh, I didn't catch but that sounds like. So, they talking about their love situation. And has she ever been in love? And Lindsay talks about how she's had different versions of love, where she's had a high school sweetheart. She's had a man that she's moved to New York for.
Who she thought she was going to marry.
So she's been in a different series of love with different people. And so I guess it just depends on the person that she's with. But I don't want to call her Steve, but she out here loving on everybody.
Well, she's saying, different times in her life. It's different versions of yourself.
No, I guess because I have never been in love that many times in my life.
Well, she wasn't like Steve and told us how many times.
Okay. I'm just saying. Then we learned that Mark, he's been in love, but he has an issue because he can't really answer the question. He's like dancing around it. And then he's like, well, I don't know. I can't explain it because he wasn't really answering the question. He was just like, well, I've been with people and I've liked them and I felt for them and I thought they were cool, but then
and then went back to an ex.
And then he says, but then I missed something about, and so she's like, you're a recycler. And I said, that's a great definition of what he is. He likes to recycle bitches.
And she's concerned.
Because we know he likes to be a helper. So if somebody need him for something, it's probably easy to just, I already know what you need. I don't have to work on what this new bitch need.
And you know what Lindsay said about that? So it concerned her, but that told her that he loves a person after he pushes them away. Or I'm sorry, after they push him away. So that I mean, for her to be loving on him the way she was initially and he's not really feeling it. Imagine if she's like, okay, fuck this, I don't want to be with you, and now it's Lindsay. And that's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying he is. He doesn't love you until you push him away. That's probably why he was okay with the 1%. Oh, now you're down to 1%. Okay. Now I'm starting to feel some type of way. Now I'm starting to feel you.
See, I don't like to play love games like that. I ain't got time. I don't have time. Yeah. Mark and Lindsay.
So the next question they asked was...
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we was done.
The next question they asked was, what does it take for you to fall in love? And him was patience and time. Of course he said time because he over here having a conversation with her about how long it takes for him to fall in love. Yeah, after a bitch push your ass away. And Lindsay, she goes into this whole spiel about what it takes for her, but to break it down real fast, she wants somebody to be present, consistent, and show that they care. And she lets Mark know she ain't getting that shit from him.
She says that they would have asked her a couple weeks ago or a week ago, it would have been a different answer. But she says today, she cannot. She said the last 11 days, it is not there.
It is not there, but it can be. She's not saying that, that it can't be.
I love the fact that she's so open, even when she's in her, like, her most mad moment. She's like,
yeah, most people would shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that she still has the door open. So maybe you just look, he's the recycler and you're just the plant. And you just break that shit down and you paper, plastic, glass or whatever. Michael takes Jasmina and Mr. Feeney, you see down here at the bottom left, takes Mr. Feeney out for a picnic. He presents her with a basket full of gifts for Mr. Feeney, not her. Now she's like, well, damn, but it's okay. It's for the dog. So it was sweet.
Trying to get her heart through her dog. I think that was smart.
And he also says he realizes how important the dog is to her. So he wants to start to form a bond with the dog. So you see him even like Paul and all this other shit that I feel like a man that's trying to get you don't give a damn about trying to get your dog to listen to them. So I thought that was super sweet. Basically, they begin to discuss communication and how Michael can improve the way he speaks to her. She lets him know it's about the tone and him telling her what to do rather than talking to her. Michael says they both used a tone when they had their situation in their honeymoon that wasn't helpful. Jasmina agrees, but then says, basically, he started it, and if he wouldn't have never used that tone with her, she would have never used the tone with him. Here's my issue with you, Jasmina. You can't sit here and act like you're the mature one, that you handle things differently, you talk things out, but as soon as a motherfucker get petty, you get on the same level with them. Because that's what you did. And then tried to use the fact that he started it to make your pettiness. Two wrongs don't make a right. So if he's being petty, if he's being stubborn, if he's being stupid, how does you doing that make the situation even any better?
You know what I didn't like about this conversation?
And I like Jasmina. I'm sorry. But let me just say that, Shay Squad. I like Jasmina. We always speak highly of her. But in this moment, I'm starting to see you're picking fights. And then when you pick it with her, she wants to act like you did something to her.
What I don't like is he's actually coming to her, asking her, what is the best way to communicate with you? Right. And after that, the conversation that you're referring to, she's just like, it's basic knowledge. How do you not know how to communicate? And he's like, me coming to you, asking you how to communicate with you, and you just saying, like, I should already know how to do it, does not help. Okay. You may feel like I should already know how, but I'm asking how to communicate with you. So it's not basic knowledge, because what I know of how to communicate, my basic knowledge, clearly does not work for you. It comes off aggressive. It comes off mean. It comes off as talking at you. So I'm asking you, what should I sound like? What words should I use so that you don't get triggered and feel like I'm being aggressive and I'm upset? So I didn't like the fact that he's actually coming to her, asking her, how would you prefer me to speak to you? And she's like, it's basic knowledge. So don't get mad when I talk to you the way I basically know how to do it.
Well.
And then, after that, basically, when he's like, that doesn't help. Well, calm down. Calm down. You're getting annoyed. He's like, yeah, it's a human emotion.
It's okay to be annoyed.
Exactly. Like, the fuck? I don't know.
But what bothers me, he can't have any emotion. One. It's either, I'm sorry, two. It's either sad and vulnerable or happy. But anything in between that, annoyed or bothered, calm down. Well, that,
you know what and I could be wrong for saying this, but I feel like she feels this way because she has not had a in-person relationship. Because I don't want to say not a real relationship.
No, and I'm gonna get that when you're in a long distance relationship, when you see somebody,
you can just not answer the phone, you can just not respond, or if they're upsetting you or their tone is off, or
not even that. You don't spend time arguing when you have limited time together.
Mm-hmm.
So even though conflict happens, it's very rare that it happens most of the time when you're enjoying a long distance relationship, because when you're together, you're not trying to spend the time fighting. You want to make the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I cannot answer my phone when I get back home, but why would I want to do that when I flew out to see you, or when you drove such and such to see me? You don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think that's showing up in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get to the love questions. Apparently, Jasmina out here experienced too. She said she been in love 3 times.
Mm-hmm. 3 and a possible.
And Mike says, well, he asked her why or what made you fall in love. And she says she always felt good, respected, and she just felt giddy. Like she just knew.
And she had a friendship first.
And there was a basis of a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Michael says he had one in a possible. Go ahead, Michael, if you ever want to sit down and play a game of spades, because that's definitely where that came from. You got a possible somewhere up under the
she said it first.
Oh, well, I won't.
She said 3 and a possible.
Well, she is competitive, but no, she looked like a bitch that will cuss you out in spades. I wouldn't want to play with her. But he said the possible was like high school, before he could really decide like what love was.
Mm-hmm.
But he said the other one was based off of a friendship, and they built from there, but friendship was their foundation. And when she asked what makes him fall in love, he talks about vulnerability. And when she's like, well, why have you never taken those moments to be vulnerable with me? And I will say he backtracked. He's like, well, I told myself going into this process that I was going to do that. And then we see her in the confessional, and she's like, but nigga, you're not doing that.
I felt like, okay, so when she said that, so before the whole conversation happened with the questions, mm-hmm. He came to her after them not talking. They said that they were not talking in the house for, a couple of days after the picnic. But he came to her and said, it's the anniversary of my brother's death. and, you know, I went to visit his gravesite, and I felt like he was trying to be vulnerable and trying to open up in that moment.
That's true. I forgot to mention that. He did say that, and she was like, "Oh, I wish you would have told me." And he was like, you were at work."
Mm-hmm. But I think that, you know, sometimes she comes off a little hard and
But
didn't
that's so
really
funny
know.
because Mike said that about Lindsay, and I definitely get Jasmina as hard, like a
I
hard.
see them both of them, just in different ways, both of them.
Okay. Yeah.
But I felt like he was trying to come off vulnerable, and um I feel like the door was just like cracked. It wasn't like open really for him to be vulnerable. So for her to go in the confessional and be like, when were you trying to come off vulnerable? Or when were you going to do that? It was like, I felt like he was just trying to do it just a few minutes ago, but you didn't even notice it because he didn't even have to talk to you or tell you about it, especially being that y'all weren't even talking in the house. I don't know. I thought it was.
No, I agree. But yeah, he did open up, and we learned that as they were sitting down having this conversation, his brother, which we see in the picture top left, did pass away. And that was a lot for him, and we'll get more into that later. But
Mhm.
yeah, basically he kind of kept it to himself and told her afterward. But I think just the fact that he told her, he didn't even have to say anything. Clearly, he's not.
Especially being that they weren't talking.
Well, I don't know what happened here. Who shook the table over at the Dickerson house? But shit is not good. So we open up. We see Katina headed to the grocery store to go shopping for her and her hubby. And then we learn that, well, that's when I learned that everybody's supposed to plan a special day. So apparently Olajuwon and Katina, they cut to previous the night before after the housewarming. And I don't know if this is after drinks or whatever the case. Well, we know it's after drinks, but we see like an argument off, which the camera caught, but the crew wasn't there. And basically he's telling her, like, let's clean up the house. Like, I don't feel like you're doing which, and she's like, no, I just want to do half of the floor. And he's like, fuck it, go to sleep. And you see Olajuwon like sweeping the floor by himself. He asked, and she's like, well, I noticed there was a lot of tension. So I guess they like maybe they got together or he helped her with something. First of all, Olajuwon was high as a fucking kite during this
Yeah, he
conversation.
was.
Okay. There was no hiding that, bruh. There is Visine. So basically, Olajuwon is like, and that's how I knew he was high, because he had that fucking in his system. He was like, what is your definition of a wife? And I felt like he tried to deliver it in a night, but he delivered it like a homeboy to his homegirl versus a man to his wife. Like, I would expect one of my best friends to be like, but you're not doing what the fuck you're supposed to be. And like, that's how they address me. Right. I don't expect that from my man. I would expect a little bit more compassion. But
so yes, he did ask that, and she was like, you know, support and a partner. She was like, but I don't really like that question, which I think kind of actually aggravated him a little bit, because I think he wanted an actual answer, like, what
I want
is
to know
your
what your
definition
expectations are
of a wife? And she's like, I know you want some, you know, you want me to cook more. And he's like, no, it's more than that. Like, you know, after the housewarming, you know, you're talking about you're only going to clean half the floor, and, you know, I'm trying to do it together, and, you know, you just went to bed. Like, he was like, where is my partner? When is my partner, you know, going to show up? When is my other half going to show up? And I don't know. I kind of felt him in that moment. It wasn't like he's like, I'm going to bed, you clean up.
No, and most men would have been like, all right, babe, we'll deal with that shit tomorrow. The fact that he was like, no, this needs to be done. And I will say, I didn't understand it, but I think we will by the end of this review. Olajuwon goes on to say, I came on this show for somebody who was ready to be a wife. not for somebody I had to build up. Like, I wasn't trying to build you as a person. I wanted somebody who was already ready. And I said, well, goddamn.
I actually felt bad for Katina though, because she expressed that she wasn't expecting not to meet someone else's standards, which I'm sure has to suck and has to hurt, but there is a difference between being your own individual woman
and being a girlfriend
and being a exactly. There's a difference.
So then we see the hard questions. Look, we didn't even get to those yet, y'all. Then we talk about same questions we have for everybody. Have you ever been in love? I think Olajuwon says.
Well, I think for him, I think they asked, what does it take to fall in love?
Okay, what does it take to fall in love? Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm gonna let you answer that first, or some shit like that. Y'all, it's not looking good.
I know he was like that you don't cry. And she was like, I cry, I just cry in private. And she expressed that her ex was verbally abusive. And she promised herself that she would never cry those same tears again.
And I ain't mad at that girl. Never, ever.
So she's like that, she's a little bit numb. And he lets her know, like, it's okay to cry. It's a human emotion. Like, but that lets him know that she's a strong, independent person. And then.
But he also says, don't let it fuck up our future because, bitch, you can't deal with emotion.
This is the one where he told her that she can answer first. Do you think you're beginning to fall in love? That was the question. And she's like, I mean, I see potential. He's like, girl, please, you falling in love. Don't be out here lying for the folk. You falling in love. She's like, I ain't say that. I ain't say that.
But you said that.
But you said
everything you did after that said that.
Exactly. And Olajuwon's like, I like you.
But he said, but there are standards that have to be met. I said, well, God, is this the military or is it a relationship?
He was like, love is a strong word to him, and love is just not on the table for him. He doesn't fall in love easy, and the connection needs to grow. But you know what? I know what it's like to like someone, think that they're attractive, think they're cute, and then just the shit at their core is just unattractive. Or, they just do little shit that's just like
under your skin that you're not going to be able
exactly. It's like, So right. He lets her know, that he thinks that like she needs to be less guarded. And, or I'm sorry, she said that. She said, well, I think for you to fall in love, I need to be less guarded. And, you want your meals and I need to clean. And he's just like, seeing is believing. I think she was just trying to be cute in that moment. Like, you need your meals and me to clean. And he's just like, he was a little cold with it.
Cause he's like, but nothing is worse than a motherfucker who knows what they need to do, but isn't doing it. Like he said, he just wants effort.
So the ladies are out. As you can see, they are getting pedicures. I'm guessing, they got the whole place rented out because they got food and snacks and anybody else there to interrupt. Okay, this is how you doing at Lifetime. I see you. So Katina and Lindsay clearly still don't talk, as she has expressed to Jasmina. She's like, I just want to be kind and override my triggers and not let this bitch get on my fucking nerves, okay? Ain't nobody fucking on my energy, okay?
I'm protecting my peace.
Exactly. So, everybody's sitting down there, starting to have a group conversation, and Noi starts. And Noi is, letting them know how her relationship is going, and they're trying to they're trying to figure out, like, each other's little quirks, and Lindsay brings up, I guess, a post that Noi posted, and she said that I guess it said like you marry their inner child, their belief system, and their trauma. And apparently this resonates with Lindsay because, you know, she called it out for, I guess maybe she might, I don't know. I thought she was good. She clearly, I don't know, she feeling some type of ways too.
No, I knew she wasn't good.
Noi, I guess she's also, you know, reliving the whole noodle incident, and she lets them know like she doesn't want to be responsible for hurting him because it clearly, you know, her disappearing for the 24 hours. She said he was kind of teary-eyed, choked up, and she's like, he really loved me, girl.
Even though he won't say it.
And say he loved me, you know, and she's just like, I don't want to be responsible for hurting him, which thank you. Thank you, Noah. We can appreciate it. We like grown conversation.
Right?
Okay. Like you did on the couch.
We're gonna have big girl conversation when we have problems.
Growth. That's what we're talking about. So Lindsay says that, you know, her and Mark are in sync for the most part, but when they're not, they're not. She's just like, what the fuck happened? Like, it was all good about a week ago. You said what?
No, basically she says they're like up and down from day to day because that's when Katina chimes in.
Yeah, so she says that they need to connect more in order to grow their intimacy, which apparently her and Katina can relate on. I'm surprised Katina even spoke on this because it came out of Lindsay's mouth.
Exactly.
About the whole the intimacy thing. And Katina lets them know that basically her and Olajuwon are, you know, up and down. And basically, we know rude ass motherfucking Jasmina. She just basically she's just like, I can't have feelings and intimacy with someone I'm not talking to. Like, we're just trying to move forward, and I ain't feeling hot down there because we don't even talk. And basically, this is like confirmation to everybody that this shit is normal. Apparently, what everybody's going through, everybody going through some shit, and it is clearly fucking normal. Ain't nobody doing good.
Well, when you get married to a stranger, ain't nobody supposed to be doing good, I guess.
So, guys' night out, they went to do some archery, which
yes,
super fun. Apparently, Marcus is shit. He out here whooping ass. Okay, he is.
He's a shark. What did you expect?
Right. And Steve is doing good too. Look, he hit
what's his name? Michael.
Yes. And he's like, look, I had to question our friendship. Like, nigga, are you really my friend? Because
the way you tap me like that.
Right? You out here hurting me for real. So, you know, the guys sit down, you know, looks like they're having something to eat and they're discussing what's going on in their relationships. And Mark, you know, lets the guys know this is more work than I thought. Like, and I'm digging as deep as I can. This is a lot. I didn't realize, you know, it was going to be like this. You know, it's just a difference of personalities, and we're trying to get through it. We're trying to work through it. Olajuwon, I felt like he was the one that just went in the most.
All the tea.
He's like, you know, he feels like he's babying Katina. He's questioning her life skills. He doesn't like to go to sleep apparently with the house dirty, which I can understand. And it bothers him that Katina is okay with that. He's just basically like, what he said was, when can I have my support from my wife? You know, he's learning patience, and he feels like after Dr. Cow left, there's been no change. But I mean, I understand where he feels like she needs change, but I don't know why he brought Dr. Cal into that, because Dr. Cal ain't tell her she needs to change anything.
Basically didn't say nothing about her.
He told you to stop talking to her crazy. That's what he said.
Exactly.
And the guys just let him know, like, you just gotta express it. Like, you have to get it off your chest, because it's gonna bother you, it's gonna hurt you more. You have to speak about it. And he is just like, I feel like I'm being beat. That he is being beat. And Michael, that he lets them know they still got the same issue. It's a communication is still an issue.
Okay.
And now they're working on trying to get past a surface level. And he said he felt like he just needs to drop a few tears, because he needs apparently to be vulnerable with her, and that's what she needs for him to feel open. And she clearly expressed that that's what she needs. So our definition of vulnerability ain't hers. Apparently, she needs a couple tears.
I guess.
And Steve talks about the whole noodle incident also, and how
it really fucked him up.
And how Noi just shut down right after, and he got no contact, no nothing from her for 24 hours. And he lets them know that they hashed it out. They didn't argue or anything. They had a real adult conversation, sat down and talked about it. But he lets, I think he was really talking to Michael when he said this. And, he said that he had to really let her know and show her how much it hurt him. Exactly. And how he had to be vulnerable. And he thinks that is what Michael needs to do. And basically, they also agreed that this is normal, and they know it's normal because, like, they're taking it serious, because look, everything is not ice cream and rainbows. Okay, nobody here is going through some great shit either. So it's real in the field.
Okay, sweet. This was so sweet. It gave me life. So we see Steve take Noi on his little special date, and he takes her to the beach. We can see that pictured here, upper right corner, right? Hats off to the screenshotter. I'm just
saying. I know you can appreciate that he brought food.
Can I tell you, know what's so funny? I can appreciate it, but funny story, Shade Squad. I have actually had a man try to do this on the beach. And he thought he was being cute until the seagulls started attacking us and like nose diving. And if don't nobody know me, I'm really scared of birds. Like, I don't do birds. Like, I don't think shit is cute about them. If you've ever seen Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds, then I think you would feel the same way. I don't want my eyes pecked out. I don't think shit is cute about a bird. I don't. Nothing is amazing about a flamingo.
Unless it's an owl.
No, a flamingo.
Well, I like owls.
I could kick that bitch in her leg before she had a chance to peck me. But
is that about a flamingo?
Yeah. I don't like penguins.
Peter, she know not what she say.
So Noi and Steve, because they're adventurous and shit out here but you know what? They also had a picnic basket. They didn't have barbecue wings exposed for the birds to sniff them and shit and get a wind of it. So basically they're celebrating their 3-week anniversary. And he asked her favorite memories since being married. And I was like, that's so cute, because you've only been married for 3 weeks, but that's really cute.
It should be easy to remember.
Right? So she says the wedding, and just when their families met and how everything just kind of conjoined, and the waterfall. And he says that his 2 favorite memories were the waterfall and the fish biting him, and how she was just so cool with it, but also the wedding and the kind of like dancing and the fact that she's so free spirited. And so they knew they just going to be able to have a good time. So I thought that was super dope. Basically, he tells her he knows she was kind of like disappointed with, what happened on their honeymoon. And basically he just brought her back to the beach to recreate and basically tell her that he loved her. And I was fucking here for it, Steve. It was giving. It was giving.
I'm really just scratching my eye, guys. I'm not like Latrice.
No, it was giving. I loved it, Steve. And I was like, there you go.
I thought it was cute. He was like, we did the first picnic at 3 days. This one is 3 weeks. And I was not ready to verbalize my feelings, but I want to tell you that I love you today. And she is super relieved. She is super happy.
All right, guys. So I'm here for Mr. Mark too. He is shipping up and shaping out. I love it. He's like, I'm going to take Lindsay to a sushi restaurant. We know Mark don't eat shit, okay?
He just got tacos for the first time.
He clearly did not know life before he met Lindsay, but this is why I think they complement each other. So basically, he takes her to a sushi and she's like, I'm gonna order you some eel. I think she said it's the chicken of the sea.
Yes.
I thought that was the tuna. Okay. I'm not gonna Jessica Simpson, y'all.
I think that's just the name of it.
Oh, okay. So basically Mark says he thinks the food looks good, but it doesn't belong in his body.
That it belongs back in the ocean with his family.
Where they took him from. And that's
what I love is that
where you see Mark over here to the far left by himself holding, sadly, I think he wasted a really good piece of salmon. I think that's either tuna or salmon that he's holding, but it's a really thick piece.
I feel like it might be tuna.
Okay, but it's a really thick piece and it looked good. I would have tore that bitch up.
I like the fact that he does not eat it. He knows that she loves sushi and he really impressed her. He really impressed her with this date.
He's showing that he's paying attention. But what the biggest part of this date was that basically he gives her the affirmations that she was looking for. He tells her, like, I've realized what you've done. You're a wonderful person. I love how you care for me. You have a big heart, like just everything she wanted to hear. But he also lets her know that, look, I'm not out here trying to cause you pain. So I know
and he apologized.
I was going to say, and he apologized. So even though my communication might be a little fucked up sometimes, the point is I do realize and see the person that you are, and I do appreciate it. And I thought that was super dope. And then Lindsay returns the favor and takes Mark, top left here, to batting cages. And I'm not going to lie to you, Lindsay, you did that. Because I was like, I thought it was cute, but I just thought it was cute because it was like more, like male oriented. So I was like, okay, that's cute. It's not like she's trying to push something that she does on him. Mm-hmm. But then we learned why she got the idea is because when they were cleaning up his apartment or attic or wherever he lived in, that she found his baseball cards and his baseballs and all this other stuff. And we learned that he used to actually play.
That he kept from childhood. I think he said he played baseball from when he was 5 to senior in high school.
So he loves Lindsay for clearly thinking of this, and he realizes she was paying attention, and that warms his heart as well. So I think that Lindsay and Mark are starting to get back to a better place because they're listening to each other, and that is obviously super important. All right, y'all. So Jasmina.
Look at you saying it properly.
Yes.
Okay.
Jasmina comes out the gate swinging. She does something really cute, and I actually thought it was super dope because it was inside the house, but it took thought. So she creates a whole gym.
Because he's been trying to get her to go to the gym, but she admittedly says she's lazy, though.
So not like Katina, who just don't do nothing. So
at least Katina went to the gym.
Okay, she does. But she creates a home gym to connect with Michael. And every little section has like things that they're supposed to work on or talk about. So vulnerability. I forgot the other two. But they were all, communication was one. So all activities. And then we learned that Jasmina is terrible at working out. She clearly didn't watch no workout videos before she tried this.
She didn't know how to use resistance bands. She didn't know how to
What's
do.
Crazy about it is she looked like she got a lot. I don't know if those are Michael's or those are hers, but she looked like she got a lot of mats and balls, but they were just for decoration because she don't know how to use them.
Well, and to sit on the floor,
I guess.
She didn't know how to do squats. She made it a hilarious trainer. Michael said he would not hire her to be his trainer. That's for damn sure.
So they get to the point where they're stretching and they're at a point of vulnerability. So she wants him to open up about a hard time in his life, and about the loss that he's experienced in his life. And as I was just telling Nels off camera, even though I could appreciate it and I like this moment, it perplexes me that Jasmina never takes the time to talk about her past trauma. And I just, as me and Nell said, when you grow up with a father who kind of said deuces and a mother who said deuces, I don't understand how you don't have any trauma from that.
Mm-hmm.
And why that hasn't been highlighted. And I think that has a lot to do with her being vulnerable as well and her tough exterior. So the fact that she keeps wanting Michael to open up and act like she doesn't have her own shit is just very strange to me. But maybe that's something we'll see later in the season.
And I would think that would help him understand her a little bit more.
I agree. So basically, he talks about remembering the time when his brother got shot. And, you know, he talks about how his brother used to be a chef in a fast food restaurant and they used to stay up waiting for him to get home.
He used to get home around 3:00 in the morning or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he says one day they got a frantic like call or something.
On the door.
Knock on the door. And somebody was like, you know, the brother had gotten shot. And Michael ran out and he saw his brother laid out on the pavement, which no child should see. And clearly that mentally fucked with him. He starts to cry and Jasmina wipes his tears. And again, I think that was a great place for their relationship. But I hope that it's equal. Does that make sense? Like, I think he needed to let that go. And that was great, especially to his wife. But I think his wife also has some things that she needs to let go to him as well.
Yeah. He admitted that he feels like, well, that was his first grief he's ever had to deal with. And he believes that moment changed his life. And she's glad that, you know, he's finally letting her in and, you know, opening up to her. And I thought it was really cute that he just kind of sat back and was staring up at the ceiling. She was like, "What are you thinking about?" And he was like, "It felt really good to cry." Like, that felt really good. I thought that was like, because he could be, you know, he could have like a lot of bottled up anger, and he lost a lot of people.
I'm sure he does. Because like he said, once that happened, he felt like it was every 3 or 4 years he was experiencing loss. So every time, and grieving is hard for anybody, but to always be hit with something consistently and you can never get over the last person you lost because you're still grieving. I can't imagine. So, but I thought it was a beautiful moment and it looks like they're starting to work things out. So we'll see what happens with Michael and Jasmina.
So Olajuwon plans a date where they are cooking together with, I believe he said Chef O, which I thought was cute because he wants her to learn how to cook and he's doing it with her. And he knows that she likes salmon. Come on now, Olajuwon. You don't got on TV for
Olajuwon.
Salmon.
Let them salmon hate salmon. Anyway, no, but what I wanted to point out, just to piggyback off Nels real quick, because I wrote down what he says. He wants to show the effort that he expects from her. And Nels made a good point in pointing out, I don't think we saw a date from Katina this whole episode. Everybody else planned a date for their mate somehow, and we didn't see that with Katina and Olajuwon. So it goes back to his point of effort. But go ahead.
Basically, and when he says effort, he means that he doesn't want to have to ask. for, he wants her to know to do and just do it on her own, have a mind of her own and do it, not just sit around.
Clean your house because you want your house clean, not because somebody's telling you to do it.
Exactly. So apparently, Chef O is helping them make coconut shrimp, and that coconut shrimp look good. Okay. She loves coconut shrimp. That shit look good. And he basically tells her, look, if you cook like this, I'll put 3 rings on your finger. Okay. And he's like, this is the type of happiness I need in my food. Okay, like she's like, you act like I ain't fed you. Now, Olajuwon, you was dirty with this one. Okay. What did he say? He said, no disrespect.
But I ain't been fed like this.
Since he said, I haven't been fed like this on this level since we met. Homie, you ain't had to do all that. That was a little much. I don't know if he was high, if he was drunk, I don't know. But that was a little rough. My thing is, with Olajuwon, I get what he's saying and where he's coming from, right? But it really is his delivery. It really is his delivery. He comes across kind of harsh. He
comes across condescending.
Yes, he does. So he basically said that he feels like, she worked on herself independently, but it doesn't mean that she's ready to be a wife, like for marriage, which we stated. She could be a great individual on her own, but with someone and where someone is expecting you to, pick up some of the load, maybe that just ain't what she's ready for. So,
I love my notes say he wants to figure out what Katina can do independently.
He does. Yeah. Yeah.
He's shots fired. You can't grocery shop. You can't clean the floor, clean the house. And he even says that. He's like, yo, give me something. If you can't cook, clean. Give me something. I said, damn. Olajuwon was out here, guns a-blazing. He didn't care. He is fed up.
And she admit that, he does give more effort than she does. And he's like, you're still learning. And that's okay. But like, I need you to have like a base. Like, I need you to have a base. And he's like, I've achieved big things. And I bought a house. I paid off my student loans. And you still working on these things. I was like, okay, Olajuwon, we're getting a little off topic here. I mean, you was off to a great start, sir. All episode, you was off to a great start. Now you go on the left, homie. And yes, he did say, what can you do independently on a wife level that I'm satisfied? And Katina, the only thing that pisses me off about Katina is she's just sitting here eating this shit. Can you please remind this man that he is with a Black woman? Please. I know this is not what he used to. But please remind him. At least speak up for yourself. Man, please. Please. And she's just like, I just need to know, like, what is it that you're seeking of a wife? When this motherfucker said the basics, he said the basics. Like, you didn't apply enough for the housewarming. Your friends went and got the food. You were home all day. And that's why I offered to even get the chicken.
Was like,
because
I was getting the decorations ready. And he was like, I was home with you. I was with you when you did that. Like, you forget.
He was like, I got the decorations with you. It's not like you did it on your own. And I don't know. There was a lot. There was a lot to unpack in this whole goddamn scene. Goddamn it. And he was like, I'm just trying to see where you are as a woman. I said, well, motherfucker.
That's when she got offended.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, based on being an adult. And she's like, I need a break. I need a break. And
stop talking to me crazy.
To a certain extent, I can understand what he was saying. He's just like, I need to know that you can hold shit down if something happens to me.
I think, didn't he not lose his father, but his father left his mother or something like that, where his mom raised him by herself, I feel. So I think that's why maybe he's so hard on her about like just being able to handle, because he was probably raised by a single mother. So he's seen it. And when he sees Katina can't do, I'm not going to say can't, but doesn't put in effort to do basic, like, I want my house clean, I want my man to be fed, like things like that, I think that rubs him the wrong way. Because we see his mother's not around for whatever reason.
You know what? I really cannot. You mean his father?
We don't see his mother either.
We saw his mother.
Play mother that comes to his games and stuff, but that's not his real mom.
Oh, I thought that was his mother.
No, that wasn't his mother. That was like his play mom. We never met. We see a picture of his dad in the beginning, and I think we see he talks about his mother, but we don't ever actually meet any of his parents.
The only reason why I can't get mad at Olajuwon is because he's not asking her for anything he's not willing to do.
Yeah.
It's not like he's like, I plan to sit over here on this couch, watch my game with my feet up, and you go cook me a meal, and you wash my floors and wash my dirty drawers and fold them. He's not doing that. He is literally offering to help and do it as partners.
After he goes out and works all day. Yeah.
And all night. He said he works all day and all night. And she works from home. So he's like, the things that you got your friends to do, the things that you got me going out here to do, you could have done. And I feel like it would aggravate me too. It would aggravate me too.
Really have nothing to say. That kind of shut her up.
He's just asking for a partner. He's asking for a helpmate. And he's not wrong for expecting that of his wife. Well, I don't know. I want to know what she expected of a husband.
And I think that's why he asked her. And the fact that she couldn't answer the question, he could never get to that part of the question for her. Well, thank you guys.
Yes, thank you
for tuning into another Shady review of Married at First Sight. Please make sure, if you have not already, that you like,
comment,
subscribe,
and hit the notification bell.
And we will definitely make sure we check you out next week and see if any of these couples then decided to get divorced, because Lord Jesus, it's a lot.
It was a lot.
Now I see why Katina had somebody sliding in her DMs, her husband talking to her all crazy. She was like, fuck this.
But she ain't never lived with a man, so even if she left that motherfucker and ended up with the motherfucker in her DMs, he would probably feel the same way.
Oh, well. Well, there you have it, Shade Squad. So make sure that you follow us on all platforms, and we will catch you next week sometime, because like I told you guys, it is the birthday month and we are turning up. Love you guys. Have a great evening. Good night.
Good night.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe.